5–6%. I usually use 6% of sugar. So how much is it? 1.5 kilo? Oh, 1 kilo first. 6%.
75 for 5%, 75 grams.
Okay, so let's say 1 liter, 6%.
60 grams. So
Good.
90 for
So 1.5 liter?
90.
90? Beautiful.
And the
6%? I'm not going to count it, I'm already kind of a bit tired. Maybe the rakia. So 90 grams?
Yeah.
Okay? Okay. Honestly, it doesn't matter too much if it's 5, 6, 7%. At the end, you can adjust it, but be careful. If you add sugar before you put it in the bottle, it can get really fizzy. We will talk about it later on. Just you don't want explosions. So 90 grams. Okay, 90 grams here. I think that's now basically time to harvest the tea, right? Strain it. What is time?
7 minutes are up.
Yeah. Okay. So I decided between 5 to 10, 7. So sugar is already in the bowl, 90 grams. This is the black tea. So all I do is I just strain it. Nice. I will not press it because if I press it, I will get the bitter stuff in it, and I don't want that. So put it in, and I will mix it a bit to dissolve it. Nice and simple. It's not difficult. It's actually really simple. Making black tea with sugar is generally something what even hackers can do. Kind of, they go like this, more or less. I definitely should mention that making 1.5 liter of kombucha is a bit inefficient. Make at least 5 or 10 liters. Because once you start to drink it, and let's hope that you will start to drink it, or your family, whatever, you will go through it quite pretty fast. And making actually 2 liters and 10 liters, it's not a big difference in time. You may deliberate 20% increase in time. It's really efficiency. So I recommend 5 to 10 liters, it's efficient and you have what to drink. Because it takes around 1 week to 10 days to ferment it. If you think, okay, 1 bottle which is half liter every day, 10 days, 5 liters, it's drunk off. So, I believe I have dissolved what I was supposed to dissolve. What time do we have, if I can ask, in total? What is the time?
It's 15 past 8. 13 past 8.
That's not bad. So, we are nearly done basically with my part, so soon we will move to your part. You will all have fun. So, now what I have here actually, if you had my hand here, you will feel it's hot, and by the taste, that is sweet. Too hot, too sweet. If I add my kombucha in this now, I will kill it. I definitely don't want to do that. What I do, it's simple. I didn't add 1 liter of water. I added less. The reason why I added less is that if you make, for example, 10 or 20 liters of kombucha, as you have seen there, I hope it's still not out of the bowl. You basically, boiling 20 liters of water at home, that's a bit complicated. But still, you can make 20 liters of kombucha if you have the jar, because you can boil just 4 or 5 liters of water, make the tea, sugar added, you make concentrate. So what I do generally, I do 1/4, 1/5 of the total volume, concentrate, after I dilute it. So this is maybe, I don't know, 300 milliliters. I'll just start to dilute it now with cold water. So it will be not so hot, so the microbes don't get killed by the heat, and it will be not so concentrated, because if there's too much sugar, like with the salt, the osmotic pressure will basically burst the cells, and the microbes will die. I will get a bit more water. You alone, not me. Just you got the taste of seed. I hope that everybody will make it for tomorrow, or most of you. It's going to be good. Now, a bit more water, cold. Happy? If I knew where's a digital thermometer, I will actually measure it for you, but us. Now, with a bit of luck, I will transfer to the jar. But of course, this one will be much better because this is the thing. Was not thinking as well as I should. It's okay, I will make it. I'm good.
We can empty the water into.
Let's be experimental. Okay, it's in, a little bit more water. I generally leave around 1/4 of the jar empty. So there's some air. Now the reason for the air, it's kind of questionable. But one thing why you don't close it completely, but why you let the air in, is that there are yeast in it, right? The yeast can live without oxygen. That's how you make beer and wine, basically. Because once it doesn't have oxygen, it makes alcohol. But if you want the yeast to multiply, to grow, and stay in the culture which you want, it needs oxygen. It will not multiply, it will not basically divide if it doesn't have access to the air. So you leave it open, and this is kind of, buffering kind of zone, call it as you like. Now, this is basically a bit colder than I would like to, but definitely, less than 30 degrees. Below 30 degrees, I recommend, more than that, questionable. You can hurt the culture. All what I have to do now is kind of dig in and take a bit of beast, or mother, however you like to call it. I'm looking for the proper beast. I don't have to do it actually, I can just add the liquid. For example, this piece, beautiful one. I just put it in. And a bit of liquid. In theory, you don't have to use the liquid, but I like it. The reasons why I like to use the liquid is that some of the guys in are probably quite not such a big fans of oxygen. They are anaerobic, and in the liquid, which is in the bottom, there's less oxygen. So they may be, if you have seen online, that kind of nice, how you call it, that experimental tube kind of pictures of the aerobic microbes, semi-aerobic, whatever, anaerobic. They kind of get as far by the movement from the oxygen as possible. And my idea about brewing kombucha is I want to have there as many microbes in my culture as possible. So, before I conclude and you will go on, this is probably the last part. We have added the kombucha mother and a bit of liquid, which we can call starter. The liquid is actually the brew, the already fermented sugar tea media. That thing, it's of course full of microbes. The microbes are not just in the mother, they are in the liquid too. Like with the yogurt, kefir, they are in the liquid, or beer, they are all around. However, we added this. I like to, you have seen me taking the kombucha mother. If you have the mother done properly, you can see it actually on this guy from home. Do you see how it has several layers? Like this, kind of. One layer, second layer. It's not exact because I grew it all in one time, but if you make every big batch, what happens, you will have basically the guys stuck on top of each other. One, second, third, fourth. Like layers of kind of really like pancakes. The nice thing about this is that at the top you have the newest kind of fresh new microcellulose just produced, and at the bottom you get the older one. And the fun part is that if you do it for 4, 5, 6 weeks, you will not have after 10 weeks 10 pieces of kind of mother which will be all the way down. No. What happens is actually that after 3, 4 kind of batches, the bottom part will start to do this, and I think I have here one of the mothers which is already kind of, I would say, more tired. Oh yes, this one. Do you see how it's falling apart? No, it's just microcellulose, don't worry about it. It's falling apart, it's really kind of starting to be slimy and kind of, it will have a long kind of, pieces of brown thing floating in the bottom. That's just exactly what I like. What's happening there is that the microcellulose is actually being eaten by some of the microbes. So some microbes, they produce it on top, and some other microbes are eating it in the bottom. And I love it. It's exactly that kind of cycle. It's a whole ecosystem. So I always recommend, if you want to give someone a new mother so they can start to ferment, don't take just the first slice on the top and give it to them, or the last one. Try to, for example, cut it like pizza. So it has 3-4 layers, beautiful, cut it like that and give it to them. So it's as much kind of, rich on the micro as possible with the liquid. I cannot at the moment prove scientifically how many microbes are and what type in the first layer and second and third in the liquid, because there are no studies on that, unfortunately. I would like to do part of that, or initiate it, collaborate. But I'm going to be sure that the layers, if you give more, better. Just for you to remember. Now, we have here issued the kombucha. You can imagine again, because I don't have a string on me, some textile like this, just cut a small piece, put it like this, a rubber band around, and leave it on some nice warm place. Kombucha, I would say, a bit minimalistic. Yeah, okay, so for demonstration, that's fine. 15, thank you. 15 to 25 degrees, I think for kombucha is great. Try to avoid for longer periods of time temperatures close to 30 degrees, definitely about 30, it will kill it. I have seen it, kombucha doesn't like temperatures like that. Kefir is okay, kombucha doesn't so much. Try to avoid stable temperatures. There are lots of microbes, like all of us, some like, we don't like all the same temperature, especially with the microbes are really different. Some like 15, 25, 40. If you set one temperature, you will get a preference to one. The rest will start to die off from the culture, basically. So try to kind of oscillate the temperature. It's very simple. Leave it somewhere where during the day it's warmer, during the night it's colder. Most of the time that works fine. And within basically a few days, 7 days, 10 days, you'll be able to harvest. Harvesting of kombucha is very simple. You get your, like you have seen, actually partly, I have a part of kombucha, big one, I took the mother out, and I'm left with the liquid. The black tea, sugar, which is already fermented, which you will smell and taste, when you like it, you are able to harvest. You basically just take the liquid, you take an empty bottle, you put the funnel in and you pour it in. If you don't like pieces of kombucha SCOBY that slime the thing in, lots of people don't like it, you will use a strainer to catch them out. You will close your bottle, and within basically 2 days, if you close it properly and you let it at room temperature, 2 to 3 days, depending on temperature, you will get the liquid fizzy. So if you like it fizzy, harvest it after 7-10 days, depending on the flavor, you have to check it out. Put it in a bottle, close it, let it for 2-3 days, secondary ferment. It's like wine, beer. Basically, that's the process when the microbes are still active, they eat the sugar, they decrease the sweetness a bit. However, because it's not open anymore, the carbon dioxide which has been produced stays in the bottle. So that's your fizzy thing. After that, basically, you will put it in a fridge, and the fermentation process will slow down. If you don't put it in the fridge, sooner or later it will explode. And if it's in a glass bottle, it can be quite pretty nasty. Meaning, pieces of glass in the ceiling and things like that. So please, if you made a kombucha and you are ready to bottle, like you have seen the crates of bottled drinks which we make in the, Boy Varantis in Belgium, and last time we did it, in the Belgrade, put it after it's nice and kind of fizzy in the fridge. If you don't, it will continue to ferment and you can get in troubles. A really nice simple trick which the beer brewers are doing. If you are going to harvest 10 bottles or so, use the glass if you can. I like glass for fermenting and for basically the storage. Use also one plastic bottle like this. So mate bottles, you probably know. This is the glass, I have my kombucha there, but I have also one kombucha in the plastic. And it's extremely simple, I just come, touch it, and I feel how much is pressured. Done. Yeah, so kind of, that's a simple way. So the harvesting procedure is really simple. We have now the kombucha which is growing. You will put it in a, let's say, place, kitchen which is warm. Within 7 to 10 days, you'll start after 5 days maybe to taste. You'll start to kind of feel like, okay, I would like to try to harvest it. You'll make more black tea and sugar. You'll take your mother out. You'll this liquid, you will pour in a bottle by the funnel and the strainer so you don't have pieces in it. And after you close it, 2-3 days at room temperature and after in the fridge. You will make today the kombucha by yourself, so basically the starting procedure you will make. And if you are around tomorrow and we have a bit of time, we can actually harvest another brew which is not kombucha, but it's exactly the same procedure. And we can make some mate, but whatever, seeing how late we will be around, you know. We have, that's a glass 20-liter kind of thing which I made someone to carry up here the stairs. So that's kind of, you know, what you can use. So this is the demonstration part of the workshop. I think now would be good time to taste the drinks. I may actually, if you don't mind, get unrevealed because they are colder, and we can go on. So give me 1 second and we'll start with the first one. Okay. So this one is nice and cold. This is kombucha which we harvested 2 days ago in the Belgrade. Good. Things may happen. If you see on the label PBGB, do not open it. It's very fizzy, let's say. So I will put the drinks back and I will bring the drinks which are cold. And I will ask, what's your name, Klaus? I always ask you.
Bobson.
Bobson? Bobson, maybe a bit less because some people may not like it so much.
Okay.
And we have a lot of that, more than enough. Once more? Enough. Enough. We don't want, you know, this one is mine. Mine?
I thought it was mine.
Well, you can fill up yourself. That's
So
no
shall
problem.
I pass this?
Yes, if you can pass, you know, kind of things. This is, what you are tasting is kombucha, just black tea, brown sugar, harvested 2 days ago. Still not so fizzy, but it will have a bit of spark, I would say. A little sparkling, but it's quite flat, but you know, we can play with it. By the way, so can you show me the label?
Sure.
Okay, this one is with mate. So you can feel the mate flavor, okay? So if you are someone sensitive to mate, just be aware.
Is this the mate one? No.
Yes.
Yes?
200 grams of mate. No, 150 actually. Okay. Okay. Very delicious. Actually, if you don't mind, maybe we can just walk around the table, or you know, here that you know, kind of, it's more kind of. Let's put it here. I'll bring one more kombucha.
Did someone not get any?
Everybody has something to drink,
Somebody get more?
even if you don't like it.
They want more.
I hope so.
Yes.
So let's put the bottles kombucha here. Okay. So let's, if you don't mind, we can. Do we have enough space to go around or not? You know that we can kind of start to be more informal. Mate?
Yes.
Who would say that? No, can I?
I'm already
What happened there? Okay. Happens sometimes.
Yes. We had Gingerella here, which is reacting similar.
The quality
I should have a cloth somewhere and I don't see it.
It's okay. We'll figure it out. Now we have paper.
Yeah, I'm sorry for that, but I don't have a very good way of actually keeping things cold now. So this is what you get, and there was the light one.
It's quite cold on the balcony.
Yeah, here, but during the tour, you know, it's a bit harder. Because I don't want to freeze them, definitely. Okay, this one is okay.
If you freeze it, you just kill the bacteria, right?
Some will survive, but it's not so good, you know, so I'm trying to avoid it.
So this is for sampling.
And this is for sampling. So, just to tell you, this is another kombucha, again 30, so very young, but without mate. So it's here, that's the big one. So whoever likes, you know, yeah, of course, welcome to taste. And you should, this is the base. No flavor added, just a harvested kombucha. This one is kombucha, which is already over 2 weeks old with hibiscus, which I like very much. And this one is actually on the card. This is water kefir, which I will taste first. So, who is ready for kombucha?
What did you just do? This was the mate?
You have kombucha with mate. This is kombucha without mate.
How do you make it up to vinegar? Because I've heard that you can make
You just let it go. That's all.
I have
yeah. You basically let it go, and if you want to make vinegar, I would go at least 10% of the sugar, higher sugar concentration, so it's stronger.
Okay.
I'm not sure exactly what should be concentration. You should experiment or check out, or I will try and share it. Not yet? Yeah? Don't worry about it. No. Leave it. I will open it in a bowl and it's done. It will be okay. Don't worry about it. I have procedure. So whoever is ready, kombucha, simple one. I will open the mate in a bowl with a bowl on the top.
Very different from the Belgrade.
Sorry?
Is this one different than the one we had already?
One second. Not sure.
Myslím si, že to všetko, že s Christianem medím
So, if it happens by any way that you get kombucha or mate, whatever drink, it's over fizzy, I like to use this. This is a bit bigger than I would like to, but it should work. Just open it with a bowl on the top. And it'll leave. No, it's okay. It's already kind of, most of it's already on the table. Yeah. So now we have. This is actually made from the water. Milk kefir. I don't know if you know the culture. It's a special other probiotic culture which is fermenting milk. I like to harvest the liquid whey, where the milk is kind of coagulated, and I use a little bit for making drinks. In this case, it was mate, quite strong one. Again, avoid Varantis in Belgium. That's where we made it. So if I can, and this one should keep you going quite for a while. This one is already aged, so basically it's over 2 weeks old.
How much can we drink?
Before dying?
For one day. Do we have a maximum amount of
Just a bit.
kombucha?
You can feel it's fizzy. It is a mate flavor, and it's not so sour as kombucha. This is the advantage of kind of the reason why, for example, I like make water kefir or milk kefir grains. It's lighter.
Okay, you should not smell this.
Sorry?
It smells horrible.
Yes, it smells strange. That's basically it's a milk ferment. That means that there are kind of smell stuff in it.
So it is you got milk in it or you got
Minimum.
the kefir?
I basically prepare around 1% of the kefir weight as a starting culture.
And not the cream. The other ones I like more.
Do you put the grains in it or
No. Just the liquid. Just the liquid, kind of is already harvested.
Yeah.
Now,
Try this one.
no, please. So who didn't try kombucha? The simple kombucha here. You can help yourself. That's no problem.
I was just about to, when you saw me.
Yep. Be strong. It's your future.
Or lack of it.
Or not. I'm personally quite happy if we introduce mate like this, H, for the next CCC, 500 bottles or 1,000, that would be nice. Now it's kind of, club mate, club mate? Yeah. Lots of people drink it, but basically, it's just, sugar with mate, and not too much mate. Flora mate is better, but this is fermented. It's really kind of, it's quite natural. If we get organic sugar, let's say fair trade sugar, and mate, we are really kind of, doing something that's really nice, and much better for the body. So this is the kombucha with hibiscus. So if you want to, have a different color, again, this is around 2 weeks old, a bit more sour.
So if we leave it with an open cap, it will produce some cellulose at the top, right?
If you leave it with open cap, all the carbon dioxide will escape.
Yes, but it will develop some top cellulose.
Yes, yes. So this is one of the issues, you know, in the bottle. If you bottle it and you let it sit for longer at room temperature, there will be a small SCOBY floating on the top of the bottle, and when you drink it, you will get a SCOBY in, which lots of people don't like.
Yeah.
Yeah? Not on maybe about the computer.
So this one is flavored afterwards, or you just
Hibiscus.
change the tea?
I was adding, no, I use the tea for fermentation, but I added hibiscus before I bottled. That's the procedure.
But you started with black tea.
Sorry?
You started with the black
Yes. Yeah, I always like black. You can use green tea or white tea, but it doesn't go so well. With the green tea, it's quite reasonable, but with white tea, it's already kind of harder. And I like, generally, I do black tea, and after that, I flavor it. That's my way, at least. I was a professional brewmaster in a project in California. It's called 3 Stone Hard Kitchen. Very nice project, you know, local resources, you know, local farmers, you know, giving, providing the food, ingredients, whatever. The rest is fair trade, organic, you know, they have their own way of kind of cooking, which is really kind of healthy, based on many ancient traditions, like deep bone broths, you know, kind of, you know, and they really believe in a combination of the fat, protein, and the sugars together, you know, things like that, really nice. And they were, for example, in that time they were doing kombucha, and in order to make, for example, hibiscus kombucha or, you know, nettle kombucha, whatever, I use white tea, which has a very light flavor, kind of, you know, and light color, so it was more easy to infuse later on. So you don't have such a strong base flavor. The problem or issue with kombucha is that kombucha is quite strong ferment by itself. It always has quite sour flavor. It's there, the smell and the flavor is there always. Even if you use lighter tea, it's there. So what I started to do later on, instead of that, I started to use the kefir way, which is much lighter, naturally, or water kefir culture, which you can actually see here. If you have a look. This is a culture of water kefir. And if you have a look around later on or now, you can see the grains actually floating on the bottom of the jar. So this is kind of the culture, which is fermenting the sugar. This is dark brown sugar in a case. And another probiotic thing which I have here, you can see in a moment, and it's my hand dirty, it's kefir, which I mentioned a few times. Do you know kefir? Yeah? Okay. So we have here, do we have water? Not really. Okay, anyway, this thing here, it's a kefir grain. Yeah? So this one is fermenting milk. So I use, if I strain the particles, sorry?
You wanna...
No, I will put it back. If I want to use this, I strain the particles, you know, I use cheesecloth, which actually this is a cheesecloth in a way, or other type of cloth. And I separate the liquid fraction, whey, which I use later on, and the firm fraction, kefir cheese, let's say, which you can use for making, you know, cheesecakes, spreads, you know, many other things. So, this was the basic tasting. Now I wash my hands and you will get dirty. Yeah? Okay, so in 5 minutes or so we will be ready to start over here and on the next table. We will start to boil water, and the idea is you will not make a big batch, but I would maybe do 2-3 groups. And today, who would like to take kombucha home? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, good. So, of course, anyone who likes, who wants to actually prepare the kombucha in this way? Okay, so it's more as the people. Okay, so that means that you can make 2 groups on a small table, and you will basically do what I did by yourself. You will get the jars, you will get the mother, and you at home can continue. So for the people who are not joining, you can start to party and enjoy. The rest will basically kind of now start to brew. Okay, so I will get clean, and you will get dirty. Okay, anyway, so thank you for the interest, etc. Who likes, as I said, the relation is here, so we'll leave it on the table, and we'll be floating around kind of, I don't know what time you have, for kind of, when you want to finish. I don't care, my girl is kind of tired, so we will see about it, during the evening, okay? So 5 minutes and we will start, please.
I did 5 minutes.
Thank you.